What game originally featured an old man beating up superheroes to steal a girl's panties? What is the stop and swap, and how did Nintendo kill it without even meaning to? From deleted scenes to last minute rewrites, here are 10 crazy pieces of cut or changed content in video games. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I will be your narrator.
Number 10.
Deep in the game files of Ocarina of Time, there's an R-Wing from Star Fox 64. And it isn't just a model, it's a fully rendered enemy that flies around shooting lasers at Link, even has a fully animated intro and death animations. Speculation is that they used the model to test the patterns of flying enemies in the game, but it still exists in the code, it just never spawns during normal gameplay.
Number 9.
Atomic Bomberman was the first Bomberman game to be developed for Windows, and Interplay Productions was going to take a unique spin on it. They hired Billy West, Fry from Futurama, and Charlie Adler, Buster Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures, to provide the voices for the characters. And it turned into a profanity-laced tirade.
My ass is killing me, I need help!
Yeah, eat my dust and lick my crack.
I am so fucking proud of you I could just shit!
I'll break your fucking head with a ratchet.
I'll slap you down and shit.
I smoked your ass.
Those lines were eventually cut from the game, and it would be very difficult to look at Bomberman the same if they hadn't.
Number 8.
Fallout loves to take one of its monsters and just make it super huge. Fallout New Vegas, they were going to take that to extreme measures. Gojira was to be a supersized fire-breathing gecko roaming the desert. His fire breath would have done thousands of points damage per second, enough to toast all the bosses in the game under a minute. Gojira could have been avoided with the Animal Friend perk, but since he never made it into the final game, now you don't have to.
Number 7.
Metal Gear Solid 2 had an odd release window. The game about stopping a major act of international terrorism released on November 12, 2001, about 2 months after the 9/11 attacks in America. And the original version of the game featured a cutscene of Arsenal gear tearing through and destroying a decent portion of New York City. Another cutscene, a news broadcast about how the Statue of Liberty is now sitting on Ellis Island, was also cut. American flags were also removed from the ending, including a scene in which Raiden cuts the rope on the Federal Hall flagpole, downing the American flag to fall over the body of Solidus Snake. Very subtle work, Hideo Kojima.
Number 6.
The dialogue featuring Cave Johnson and Caroline is some of the most memorable in all of Portal 2, but what was originally written got a lot worse than just the lemon rant. There was initially a sequence in which Cave Johnson's consciousness was trapped in a small cube in the Aperture Science Labs, and the player was forced to assist in his suicide in order to proceed. Another bit of dialogue featured Caroline begging not to be forced into a robot body.
Number 5.
This was a bizarre function that originally intended to use a little known hardware function of the 64. The idea was to reward people who owned both BanjoKazooie and Tooie by allowing data to carry over. If they weren't planning on using a memory card, the idea was to activate the stop and swap in BanjoKazooie, switching the console off and then insert Tooie. The N64 would keep data active for 10 seconds after a game being switched off, creating just enough time to swap games. Once they created the stop and swap system, Nintendo made changes to the 64, and that 10-second window became 1 second, making the swap basically impossible. Although that actually just sounds like a speedrun challenge.
Number 4.
There is a Transformer-like robot who challenges you to a race to cross the ruins at Site 32 in Chrono Trigger, and in the game we got, that's all Johnny is. But buried in the game's code, Johnny has stats for battle, so even though he never takes up arms in the game, it seems at one point the cool jet bike bot was intended to be a battle.
Number 3.
Norimaro isn't a cut character if you play the Japanese version of Marvel Superheroes vs Street Fighter, but he almost ended up in the English version. Some files in the game show him with English voice clips and dialogue, but they decided against it, because Norimaro's whole backstory is that he is an old pervert dressed as a schoolboy who came to the tournament by accident, and he basically just wants to molest the girls in the game. His ending in the arcade mode of the game is that he gets Chun-Li's panties. That's basically it. An old man beats up the Incredible Hulk to get Chun-Li's panties.
Number 2.
The main character in Final Fantasy XII isn't exactly cut, he's still there. He just isn't the main character. Bosch was intended to be the main character of the game, but Square Enix was concerned that the grizzled 30-year-old disgraced knight wouldn't resonate with the young fans. So writing changed at the last minute, attempted to insert Vaughn into the game, pushing Bosch off into a supporting role. This is why a good portion of the game in the middle section seems to more or less forget Vaughn exists, and is largely jumbled throughout. So in other words, the entire story of FF12 that would have featured Bosch was cut and replaced by Vaughn, who nobody likes.
Number 1.
The ending of Mass Effect 3 is famous for being one of the biggest letdowns in gaming. 3 endings you have to choose from are just about the same. There was another plotline building up over the course of the series that was simply dropped. At one point, Harley mentioned something about dark energy. That never really comes into play, but it was originally supposed to be a huge plot point. The story was going to be that the Reapers had discovered the secrets of dark energy and realized it could destroy the entire universe if weaponized, so they made it their work to eliminate civilizations when they started getting close to being able to discover and research dark energy. This plotline left the game along with its lead writer, so that is the story that we got. This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys. That is it for this countdown. Have a good one!